is actually one of those matchups right here where it's almost inevitable. These two are so similar. They had to have fought one day, but it's interesting because Ricky Simone is that guy coming off of a main event where, yeah, you dropped the ball against Song. You know, it was a competitive fight, right? Early on, at least. And then and then Mario Bautista comes in. Dude's on a run right now, man. Let's look at Mario Bautista. He is on a 5-fight win streak, right? So he's basically Ricky Simone before Ricky Simone's last fight. Let's not forget, Ricky Simone was just on a 5-fight win streak. Like, these guys are like same thing right here. Difference is, Ricky Simone, you got the hit list of Jack Shore, Rafael Sunsao, Boom Kelleher, Gaetano, Ray Borg, right? So there's some older names in there you don't recognize no more. For Bautista, Damon Blackshear. Whoo, how impressive of a win is that? Let's see. Guido Canetti, Benito Lopez, Boom Kelleher, Jay Perrin, right? So I would say that you got to hand the resume on over to Ricky Simone to a degree, but it's comparable. Now, what's not comparable is the age, right? Oh, no, it is, actually. These dudes are the same age, man. 31, Ricky Simone, 30 for Bautista. AJ, what do you like about this matchup? These are clones.
Clones. That's what I like most about it, Derek, is the unknown that's going to come in here because they're both fighting the same kind of style of fights. I mean, you want to talk about a dog, you talk about Ricky Simone. He's been doing it for a while, but then on the other end of that coin, you got a dog in Mario Bautista. It's almost rude to not call one of them a dog because this is going to be such an entertaining fight. I'm expecting so many different tempos, so many different shifts, all the chaos that's in a normal washing machine style of fight right here. That this one, I was honestly, I was back and forth multitude of times before I actually sent the pick in because this is going to be an absolute, I guess what they used to call a slobber knocker. I don't know if we're going to see many big bombs being dropped, but we're about to see some crazy frantic pace and everything that goes into it. I'm very excited for this fight, Derek. My big question to you right here, who controls the front foot? Like, who's leading the dance on this one? What do you think?
You know what? I think that if he wants to win, if he wants to get to wipe the taste of loss out of his mouth, Ricky Simone, I think he has to, because when he fights at his best, he's on his front foot. And guess what? A lot easier to shoot in when you're actually going forward. Song put him on the back foot the whole fight, right? So when you shoot, you could see it coming from a mile away. Song's got the super quick hands and all that. Batista's got quick hands, but not quite like that, right? So I think that you're going to expect big head kicks from Ricky Simone, that big overhand right coming down a lot, but it's just going to be a matter of who could fight better. This is my question to you, man. When I was watching tape, it's still unanswered to me. Who fights better without the ability to shoot?
That's a very good question, Derek. And sorry for the pause because it's actually that good of a question, man. I would say without the ability to shoot, I would actually probably say Mario Bautista. It's very, very slight because I do think Ricky Simone has the striking acumen. He has the footwork to get it done. Mario Bautista to me is just a hair quicker, and I think that's why I'd give him the advantage. What about you? That's a really good question.
It's funny you say that because that's exactly what I was thinking. I said slight lean to Bautista, but you can't knock Ricky Simone, who was able to hang in there with Song, right? One of the best strikers in the division. But more importantly, he's got the shoulder roll for the defense. He's got the footwork. It's just a matter of sometimes you see the desperation almost, right? Of just like, oh, man, I need to shoot. And then when he shoots, that's when the offense all comes back together, right? But when you're just forced to, I can't shoot, everything gets tight and tense. I think Bautista could last longer on the feet without that. You know what I mean? So again, washing machine match, clone matchup right here. The most interesting thing to me, man, Batista's been on a roll when it comes down to these submissions, right? Before the Blackshear fight, 3 straight submission victories in a row. We know that Ricky Simone has got his fair share of submission victories as well, but plus 800 is the submission prop for Bautista, plus 500 for Simone. You don't really imagine either of these fighters are going to get submitted, right?
I don't. And I think the odds makers are in the exact same boat. They don't see it right there. The interesting one to me, Derek, plus 550 TKO. They think Ricky Simone's less likely to knock out Mario Bautista. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's by hair though, right? Plus 550 yeah. Simone, plus 500 Bautista. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Simone carries more power personally, but I think that Bautista could load him up with combos. You know what I mean? So that's where it gets a little bit tricky. And again, it's kind of boring, and I'm sorry, but I like the decisions here, bro. Plus 140 for Simone. I think there's a lot of value, though, man. Plus 350 for Mario Bautista. I think there's a ton of value right there just because worst case scenario, you got this washing machine matchup, things like that, and then Batista's able to edge it out. And I mean, look at that.
Derek, these decision props are very, very interesting to me because I do think for both fighters right here, that is the most likely outcome, especially like we're saying, clone matchup right here, washing machine. And for Ricky Simone, I think he's able to get the decision with power power, pressure, and control, really. But the interesting part to me about this, Mario Bautista has a very likely decision outcome by not necessarily evasion, but by good footwork, controlling the distance, making Ricky Simone have to take those desperation shots like we're talking about, and then slide in right out and making this not necessarily a point battle, but more a battle of wits and control and position, if you will. That's where I think Mario Bautista is going to have his best outcome for a decision. And again, folks, it might be boring, decision fights, but if you're interested in seeing a very technical breakdown or a very technical fight, this is going to be the fight right here for you.
And I'll even say on top of that, man, this is going to be a very impressive win if Mario Bautista can squeak it out. But there's one major thing that separates these clones right here, and I'll tell you what it is. It's experience. Ricky Simone has been around the block many a time right here. He's fought the biggest names there are to fight. Number 13 in the world right now in the bantamweight division, loaded division in the UFC. So this is either breaking in for Mario Bautista or shutting down the newcomer who wants your spot. We love those matchups here at the Bloody Water Podcast. And with that being said, consensus pick, Ricky Simone. And I'm just going to rock decision. You rocking with that decision, AJ?
Oh, yeah.